Now from the University of Okoboji, it's Okoboji Broadcast with Jeff Thee.
Welcome to Okoboji Broadcast, everybody. I'm Jeff Thee, coming to you from the Dickinson County Museum, where, what? History comes alive. That's what happens here. I've got Mary Dreier here with us, the director, and one of her Uber volunteers, Frank Christenson, is here with us today. Hey, welcome, guys. Frank, welcome. Good to see you.
Thank you.
It's always good to, I meet a lot of volunteers do it, but I don't meet a lot of Uber volunteers.
I didn't even know I was an Uber one until just now.
Well, you are, Frank.
You have been promoted. Oh, well, Mary, how are things here at the museum?
They are so busy. We are having so much traffic through the museum, and such interesting people come here, and it seems as though people are getting really interested in what we do here and are coming to our programs and watching our YouTube channel. If they can't come to our programs in person, they go to our YouTube channel and watch them. And I think we've had over 350 people watch our last program that John Smeltzer did.
Well, yeah, and I talked to John a week before here, and it was so interesting with the Templar Park and everything. And I know that you guys had kind of a big reveal that night and everything, and so a good crowd, and you had lots of traffic on YouTube with it as well.
Yeah, it was great. But you know, this place would not run without our volunteers.
Oh, no, heavens no.
And Frank is definitely an Uber volunteer, like we said. We've got volunteers that come in because it's a fun place to be. Yeah. We spend more time laughing than anything, and we're always finding cool stuff to learn. And you know, we make a big deal about kind of matching volunteers with where their interest is.
Oh, sure.
Frank's specialty right now is indexing the Okoboji Protective Association bulletins.
Oh, okay.
These bulletins that have been published since 1905, 1907?
1907, I think.
Something like that. Just a wealth of information about the area. And it's the good stuff.
Yeah.
The stories are just amazing in this.
What are you finding in there, Frank, that is so interesting with the Protective Association?
A good example would be, and it's one of her favorites, is around 1920, they're still putting out information to their membership about making sure their closets are clean.
Yes. And we're not talking hall closets.
No, we're not talking hall closets. We're talking the outhouses. Yeah. And just because of the odor and the other types of nuisance they can cause and stuff like that. There was also one I ran across a couple weeks ago. People were lamenting how loud those 5 horsepower motors that are new and that are being put on the back of rowboats. And we hope they find a muffler to keep the noise down and stuff like that. So it's always something.
And the auto parts store was made very shortly thereafter, wasn't it?
Yeah. And they talk about the need for public parks and things like that. So there's a lot of good information in there. You look back and you go, buddy, this was 100 years ago, but boy, if I could bring you to this, you just shake your head and wonder. So
they'd be amazed, wouldn't they? I mean, you know, when you think about what Okoboji Protective Association has helped us through the decades, you know, we're not putting phosphorus into our lakes. It's getting cleaner. We're doing a great job. Yep. Can you imagine if there was outhouses, water closets along the lake here today?
You know, it's just amazing to go back and see that the people 100 years ago had many of the same complaints and concerns that we still have 100 years later. So.
Oh yeah, I still complain when a loud motor goes by.
And the lack of parks and lack of access to the lakes.
Yeah. Have you found anything else interesting moving forward in the decades that they've had to deal with or had to deal with?
Well, you know, these bulletins were put together with articles from people from not only around the area, but from all over the United States. Right. And then they had little ads, much like the newspapers used to do, about so-and-so went and played cards with so-and-so. And so these bulletins came out once a year, some of them thinner, and this one I've been working on for 3 weeks, but just because it's so much thicker than the rest of them. But you know, and we're reading the ads that came out back then, and of course stores that aren't even around anymore. Sure. Many of the pictures, and I found a couple today actually that were taken by Mary's grandfather. Yeah. Mary's grandfather, who lived in Milford, you know, back in the time. So It's interesting.
And something that I find in these, what I love so much about these is the family history stuff. I find, like Frank mentioned, there are photos that my grandfather took in here. There's a picture of my uncle, and a story about my grandma catching this humongous fish in here. And you know, there are articles, little short snippets about all the families that were around here in the teens, and
oh my, yeah.
Yeah, that's my uncle.
That's your uncle.
And it's just, you find out stuff that then leads you deeper into your own search for your own history, you know, stuff about your cottage or whatever.
Yeah. So, and that's neat that it covers not only things they did to protect our blue waters, but the people involved, some of our ancestors, and names we know, and these are all things we get to find out right here at the museum.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
So much fun. And you mentioned that you and your volunteers, I'm shocked to learn this, that you there's a lot of laughing that goes on and a great deal of jocularity.
Jocularity, that's a key word, yeah. Frank, can you say a little bit about what it's like when you volunteer here?
Well,
you've done different things.
I have. I started volunteering because I recently retired within the last couple of years, and my dad's been a volunteer in the community in different places, hospital, nature center, and stuff like that. So I'm looking for my own niche. Yeah. Well, I was a history major, and I thought this would be a good fit for me. So I've come in and I told her, I said, I don't care what I'll do. I'll clean toilets if you want me to.
We haven't made you do that yet.
You didn't jump on that one.
I've helped her husband put wheels on many of the cases. The bulk of my time has been doing this, but you know, I also helped Sue Hayburn, you know, rearrange some of the displays for the over here with the Abbey Garden.
And you've helped us set up for presentations and tear down, and you always say, if you need a hand, just call me. And we do. We do.
What was your line of work then, Frank, before you retired?
I was, the last 25 years, I was a school administrator, and the last 13 years over in Esterville.
Oh, okay. Well.
And this is my hometown, so we moved back.
Spirit Lake is your hometown then? And, well, wonderful. Well, what a great way to utilize what you did for a living and then come in and utilize some of those skills.
And my interest, you know.
And your interest as well. Yeah, absolutely. What other help can you use? And you said you've got just a slew of volunteers.
We do, and we're always looking for more volunteers, both for us and also for them. This is a place to really get to know people. We're all about relationships here, and it seems like once you walk through our door, you walk through it again, and then you start coming a lot. It's kind of addictive.
I'm sure it is.
It is.
And the opportunity to learn.
Yeah, like Frank, you've learned lots of stuff.
Every time I come in here, I see something different. And I say, oh wow, you know, spend some time on it. So.
Fantastic.
And he shares it with Sue and me, and it's we learn a lot too.
And then you share it with everybody who walks in the door.
You know, we've been talking about the special presentations we do, our monthly History Lives series. It requires a lot of setup and takedown. We move everything out of this, out of the center part of this room. Thanks to Frank and my husband Gordon and another volunteer, Terry, we have casters under all the cabinets, so it's fairly easy to move them, but it takes time to move this stuff out. It takes time to set up the chairs, you know, just to get ready for stuff. We can always use people to help us set up and then replace the stuff the next day after our presentations. We'd love to have people just say, hey, I can help next Thursday, you know, nothing big deal like that. And we need people like Frank who like to do research. We have research requests coming in at least every week, people asking about something or other. And today I had a request from somebody who's interested in military records from the 1940s, and I would love to have somebody who I can say, hey, you're interested in this, how about, what can you find out about it? Or
a recent gift to the museum was Aubrey Lafoy's collection, and so we've organized that and got them into a filing system back there, so people can come and take a look at some of his research materials.
Frank did that, and now I use those materials. You know, when I do prepare for these, it's usually going to Aubrey's stuff to find information about things.
And it's so much easier with modern technology to, whether you're scanning or that you can log things in. It's not like you have a big card catalog anymore.
Oh, no. No.
Well, the example of putting this, it's on I'm doing it on my iPad so that you can look up keywords if you're doing research on something, and you can go back and find those articles easier.
Yeah, because as cool as these Okoboji Protective Association bulletins are, as far as I know, they have never been indexed. So, you know, you want to search something on your family, you have to read through 20 volumes to find something.
Right.
But with Frank's system, he's doing this on a spreadsheet. If you have a keyword of, say, the Thie family, whatever, you can look and see if that's been indexed in there, and then you know which volume to go to.
And you know exactly where to go to.
Yeah, so this is going to be invaluable for all who are interested in local history.
You guys are doing all the hard work, so people who come in here to do research don't have to.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep. We always need people to help us organize. I mean, one thing that's well known about this museum is that we have stuff. We have lots of stuff.
Right, yeah.
And we also have lots of archives and documents and books and research materials. And we can always use somebody to help us organize. I mean, we would set up the system, and then the volunteer would just do the actual placement of this stuff.
Right.
We also collect obituaries. You know, we want to keep our history current.
Right.
And so we always save the newspapers and clip the obituaries. We could really use someone, and this is something that could be done at home.
Right.
We need somebody to date those obituaries and alphabetize them. You know, they could come in every couple weeks and pick them up and take them home or whatever.
Well, again, with the ease of modern technology, it's easy to do it that way now.
Yeah, well, maybe not so much this, because it actually involves scissors and a pen to write down the date. But
they don't let me play with scissors.
I can see why, Jeff. And something that is coming up for this summer especially, although we could use it year-round, we're inviting people to be greeters for a 3-hour shift, one afternoon a week or once a month, you know, whatever frequency you'd want to do. There would always be a staff person here.
Right.
And the greeter's job would be to welcome folks when they come in, ask if they have any questions, show them, you know, a place that they might be interested in, and just be hospitable to our visitors. And again, the more volunteers we have to do that, the less time each person needs to spend. But we're looking to develop a rotation of volunteers to do just that.
Very nice.
Yeah.
If people are interested, they just call in here? Or what
they call here, they email, they stop in. We're always happy to talk to people.
Okay.
Always. And if you have a special interest, for instance, if you are interested in military uniforms, whatever, one project could be researching the different medals and awards that are on some of these uniforms.
Sure.
And so that we can have a little description of it on the actual uniforms, or doing that with any of our exhibits, really.
Well, again, like if you have a field of interest in Lakes history, you know, chances are you got something here that they could help research and document.
Absolutely.
And
then, of course, there's always the clerical stuff. Like before board meetings, I'm making tons of copies and collating them, and you know about this kind of stuff.
Sure.
It's stuff that if I didn't have to do that, I could be doing some of the other stuff that needs to be done here also. I would love to have somebody to come in like once a week to do just clerical stuff, whatever.
Makes the experience here just smoother and easier, and
Right. Plus, it's fun for the volunteer. They get to know us. They get to know the other volunteers that come in. And it really is a fun place to be.
Yeah.
It really is.
I know. Well, that's why I keep coming back. I know I'm going to have fun when I come in.
You fit right in, Jeff. You fit right in.
I'm not a fun hater by any. And you're having fun, Frank. She's not misspeaking.
Nope. I currently volunteer just 3 hours a week, but they're flexible with me. Like I couldn't do it this Monday when I was supposed to, so they rearranged some time for me. I come in today and do it. That's
the nice thing about being a volunteer. You can set your own hours.
Exactly.
It's the nice thing about being retired.
I look forward to that. Very wonderful. And I know we're still at winter hours, Wednesdays 10 to 3.
Wednesdays 10 to 3.
Do you know kind of when you'll make a jump to
Like
warm weather?
Memorial Day weekend.
Okay.
This one we'll jump to a more full-time schedule.
Okay, very good.
Yeah, and until then, we are still having our way back when Wednesday conversations.
Yeah.
Today we talked about farming and chickens and all sorts of things with
Picking
chickens.
corn,
Picking
100
corn.
years ago.
Yeah, and we had 3 new people today. That is a fabulous group. If you like to have conversations and you're interested in past times at all, it's really fun.
Yeah.
It's really fun. And we are having another History Lives session on April 21st, a Thursday night. The important thing to know is it's not going to be here at the museum.
Right.
It's going to be at the Mazer Monarch Lodge out of the Nature Center, 7 o'clock, Thursday evening, April 21st, and it will be in conjunction with the Friends of the Abby Gardner Cabin. We may have talked about this before, Jeff, but we found a box of 4x4-inch glass slides in the bottom of a filing cabinet here. And after doing research, figured out that these were the slides that Albert Sharp, Abby Gardner Sharp's grandson, used when he gave programs back in the 30s.
Wow.
About his grandmother. And these have not been seen for like 80 years.
Yeah.
We had them digitized. And I mean, this is just an extraordinary event. What's even more extraordinary, we have a local person who I videotaped a couple days ago who remembers going to one of these actual presentations in the 30s. And he's told a couple of wonderful stories. So that will be part of the presentation too.
It's not a stretch of stretching words when you say history comes alive here.
No.
When I think about these used in a presentation 80 years ago and someone who has attended that,
Yeah.
you're bringing it
There's
back
a
to life.
connection there.
There's a connection there. And
Yeah.
you never know what connection you're going to find here at the Dickinson County Museum,
You don't.
or what Uber volunteers you might run into while you're here.
Well, I know Frank is definitely one.
All right, my friend. Well, thank you so much for sharing with me again.
Thanks, Jeff. It's always fun when you're
It's
here.
always fun, and Frank, a pleasure meeting you as well. And thank you for your service, not only as a superintendent, teaching our young people.
Principal.
No, never a superintendent.
But taking care of our young people and now helping our local museum through volunteerism.
Glad to do it.
Absolutely. All right. We want to thank them for joining us here today. Stop into the museum when you get your opportunity. And we thank you for watching us right here on Okoboji Broadcast. Okoboji Broadcast from the studios at historic Arnold's Park Amusement Park is brought to you in part by the Scott Troutman State Farm Agency in Spirit Lake, Quest Wealth Management, a financial advisory practice of Ameriprise Financial Services, advisor Jan Spielman, AJ Spielman, and Erica Wachholz, Ducky's Marine and Motorsports Repair in Spirit Lake, Bank Midwest, dream big, plan wisely, live well. Lakes Regional Healthcare and Avera Partner. Ruthven Locker at the Lake, where carnivores are welcome on Hill Avenue in Spirit Lake. Beck Engineering in Spirit Lake. Be Radiant Laser Skin Studio in the Okoboji Plaza in Okoboji.